All right. A good walk, everybody.
Good work, good work.
Wow.
That's Samad Aleph. 9. So Ruvain showed him in a field without a chrayas. Means if the field is taken away from Shimon, Shimon doesn't have to be paid back by Ruvain. The Yatsu Aleh Asikim. And other people come to claim that it was never Ruvain's to sell. Ad Shelo Hichzik Ba, until Shimon takes Chazaka, we'll see what that means, until he takes possession of the field, Yachol Hu Lachzor Bo. He can reverse the sale because he can say, I don't want to enter into complicated deals that belong to you, didn't belong to you. But once Shimon takes possession, he can't. My timer. The Amr Lake, because Reuven can say, Chai to the Katri, Sarvat Vikibal. Listen, I sold you a sealed bag. You didn't know what was inside of it because you bought it without achrayas. So it seems like you didn't care what problems there were. So therefore, Shimon has no recourse. Now, Me'emes have chazaka. When is it considered chazaka? The Chidaisha Mitzri, once he crosses the border and enters the field, that's considered chazaka. Davka shelo b'achrayas. That's only if Shimon bought the field without achrayas. Ava b'achrayas low. If there's achrayas, even after he takes chazaka, he can still go back on the deal. He made sure that he bought it with achrayas. It meant there might be other claims he was aware of. However, ikidiyami afilu b'achrayas nami, he can't go back on the deal. Shimon. The Amr lay, achvi tirfacha, the Reuven can say, listen, you show me a document in Bezdin that was taken away from me, not bedin, that I'll pay you. But up until then, he can't go back on the deal. Ravuna Amar, O Kesef Ometa, that a mazik can pay not just with fields, but with land, with money. Ezradach Ravuna. Yoshiv comes to Rabbi Shava Kesef Afilu Subi. That even not cash, but wheat or soybean, you can pay with anything. That's only where he doesn't have anything else. Maybe the one who was damaged can say, listen, you have to go and sell your soybean and give me cash. Kamash Malam, that no, you can pay even with Shavakesa. Money is like land. Now, what does that mean? That means if you pay cash, it's like you paid the Meitav Haaretz behind a Ravuna. I mean, why is it any different from what Ravuna taught us? Ella, the following. Two brothers that inherited fields from their father. One of the brothers actually got land. The other brother got money. The creditor of the father showed up. He had a piece of land that was meshubed, his loan, the Natal Karka. To Ozohai, that brother who had his land taken away, can go to the other brother that had gotten the cash, the Shakil Paga Bekasvevade, and take, half of the kesef that was the Yerusha. So I don't understand. Pshita, Habrava, Hailav, what do I mean? One's a son, one's not a son. Why wouldn't we understand that? He's chayiv to pay it. However, ikidi amri, no, adirabba, le'idich gisa, to the other side. The amr lay, you know what? The brother who took money said, lahachi shakli ksofim. I was smart. I chose to take money because I understood, number one, the imagan vila mishtamnamine. Cash is very easily stolen. If the money that was stolen from me, I wouldn't be able to get paid back from you. That's why you took land, because land is not easily stolen. But yet there's a danger on your side. If the land is taken away by a creditor, that's specifically why I didn't take land. So it's not dover posture. Ella, what is Ravasi referring to? Shnei achim shechalku. Two brothers divided land. The creditor took land and got paid off fully from one of the brothers. The other brother comes, says, listen, I want the land. My land was taken away. I want some of the land from you. So you don't have to give land. You can pay him off with money. That's what he meant, that kesef is like karka. That was already learned before. Diitma. Ha'achim shechalku, brothers that divided Yerusha from their father. And a creditor came and took from one of the brothers. You know what? We put everything back in the pot and we divide again. Shmuel Amar Viter. No, that party lost. Ravasi Amar Noitel Revia Bakarka. He takes a quarter of the land of one of the brothers because he got half of it, and Revia B'mois, and a quarter in cash. And we explain the shitas. When brothers divide a Yerusha, they're looked at as Yorshim. And any debt that was owned by the father is divided 50-50 between them. And if the creditor takes from one of the brothers, they go back and redivide. Shmuel Amar no says viter, because ksavar achim shechalka k'lekuchos. They're like purchasers. Each one took their own, and it's like purchasing klokech shelo b'achrayus dummy. It's without a guarantee. So if the land was taken away from him, he has no recourse. Ravasi Amar noitel revia b'karka revia b'mois. Each one takes half, but they take it, a quarter of it in land, a quarter in money. Why? He was misapkele ki yorshim domo klekuchos domo. He was in doubt whether they're like yorshim or lekuchos. Elamai harein kekarka. So what did it mean when he says ksofim was like karka? Le'inyan meitav. When it comes that it's considered, when you pay back damages, it's meitav. Yachri hainu ravuna. It's no difference. And the Gemara says, Ravasi. Ravasi is saying like Ravuna. Amra zayam Ravuna, b'mitzvah ad shlish. My shlish. What does that mean? That for a mitzvah you have to pay 1/3 of your assets. Elamiyata yisramelei plus the mitzvah, so less of l'kula beisa. If he has 3 mitzvahs to perform, he has to give up all of his assets. Ella amra ze behidr mitzvah ad shlish b'mitzvah. An esrog cost $100. Hidur is 30%, $33. That means up to $133. If you want to be mahader, that's how much you have to be mahad. You don't have to. You're not mechuyev with hidur. Boy Ravashi, shlish milagabav, or shlish milabar. Is it from inside or it's from outside? Means is it the normal price minus versus the price above it? Teku. We paskin lakula that it's shlish milagav, that it's like I explained, $100 price, and you go up 30% above it. B'marava amri mishmei ravzer ad shlish mishalo. You have to pay it out of your pocket. Mikan ve'elech mishal HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give you schar more, even in Olam Hazeh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will you pay back if you pay more.
Can I ask you a question? The two couple lines before when it says by Ravasi, don't to revere Bakarka or revere Bamos. Here
That means when they divide up 50-50, the two brothers, each brother should get a quarter plus a quarter equals a half. So that's how they get the Yerusha. Half in money, half in land. According to, because he's Mesupik, whether they're like Yorshim or whether like Lekuchos.
But here he says he takes either one, either quarter of the other brother's line or a quarter of the value of the money.
Yeah, because the guy can pay him.
If his brother
the guy can pay him back if the land was taken away from him. We learned either with money or with land.
But he says here it says both. To revere Bakarka Uravia.
He has a choice. He has a choice.
So
the money's in doubt. The money's in doubt. So he only has to pay half of it. So either
he only gets
land or a quarter.
He only gets.
He only gets half of what was
of the total amount.
Half of what was taken from him.
I see.
Kol shechati b'shpiraso, kol shechati b'shpiraso, ichsharti yisnisko. Anything that I have a responsibility to watch, I have a responsibility to pay for any damage it causes. Ichsharti b'miktzos nisko, chavti b'tashlumi nisko ke'echshar kol nisko. Once I'm responsible for something, I'm chai for all of its damages. I can't say that my responsibility is limited, which the Gemara will explain. The chasim she'ein ben, now what kind of assets? We have to explain. The chasim she'ein ben me'ila, that don't belong to Hekdesh. The chasim she'ein shel b'nei bris, Jewish assets. The chasim hamiyuchadim, the chasim that have specific owners and not things that are hefker. B'chol makom, in any location. Chutz b'rshusam yucheres lamazik. If the person who I'm going to damage comes into my property, so I'm not going to have complete liability. Or rshus nizik v'mazik, or let's say if they're partners. In all these cases, kishihizik, if damages occurs, he has to pay full damages. Shor ubor, a shore or an ox or a pit, I gave it to watch to somebody who has no das. I would have to pay. It seems that if you gave fire to a cheresh shoyt of a cotton, you would not have to pay. Now, b'may askinan, ilem b'shor kosher bor mechusa. Are you talking about an ox that's tied up in a covered bore? The kavose gabi eish, which we're talking about, a coal that's not on fire, unless sort of somebody fanned it. Then maish nohacha. They're both nishmar. Why would I be chayev for the first two and potter for the second? Ela b'shor mutter u'bar magot. We're talking about an ox that's free and not tied up, and an uncovered board. The kavasa gabi eish, which would be the same case of an eish, where I gave the cheresh shor of a flame. So masha enked be'eish potter. Why would I be potter if I gave a cheresh shor of a flame? When do we say that there's a patur for niskei eish when I gave it to somebody with bardas? I gave him a coal that was not burning, and he, the person without das, liba, sort of blew on it, and then it became a fire. Aval shalhevet chayiv. But if you gave a cheresh of a cotton a flame, the guy who gave it will be chayiv. My time and of boria zeka. It's a clear damage that he's going to do damage with the flame. So why is there a difference between shor and bor and eish? So la'olam b'shor kosher bor mechusa. We're talking about a shore and a bore that's watched. And we're talking about a coal. Why is there a difference in din? Shore drachel and tuke. The shore might be tied up, but the shore moves. So he will undo the rope. Bor drachel and ture. The gravity will cause the cover on the board also over time to go away. But kacheles, no, over time, it gets weaker and weaker, and therefore there's not the same guarantee that it's going to do damage. Rav Yochanan says by Eish that there's a ptur even if you gave him a flame, which the kavosei hacha b'shor muter bor megula, which we in the case of an ox that's free to roam and an uncovered boar, we have to ask the question there as well. Why in the first two cases are you chayiv, in the second are you potter? Hasam tzavta the cheresh kagorin. It's the way that the cheresh held the eish, and he's not careful with it. And hachaloit tzavta the cheresh kagorin. How the cheresh held did the shmir. Cheresh didn't do any damage in those cases anyways. Doesn't have das to watch it. So the responsibility to pay back for the nezek is clearly on the one who gave it to him. But by the eish, how the cheresh held it in some way contributed it. So it's a grama. So that's why there's a ptur on the balabais who gave it to him. Tarabonon. There's a stringency of shore over bore, and choyber b'bor mishore, and there's a stringency of bore over shore. Choyber b'shor mibor shore mishalagas hakoifer. An ox that kills a human being, you have to pay koifer to the family if he was Jewish, and the chayiv b'shloishim shalevet. If the shore kills an eved, you have to pay 30 sela for the eved. Nigmar Dino, a shore that killed, that goes to Bezdin and is convicted of killing somebody, Asr Bano, from that moment. And Darko Lelech Lahazik, a shore moves, Masha Ein Ken Bor, that if a person was killed in the bore, you don't pay koif. You don't pay 30 for the death of the Eved Knani. And a boar that kills does not become Asr Bana. And a boar is not movable. On the other hand, Choymer Babor Mibishor. There are aspects of boar that are more stringent than short. Shabor Tchilas Asiyasul Nezek. The boar's creation is right away for damage. And there is no time and muad period. Muad mitchilaso. You have to pay damages, full damages for boar right away. Mashen kin b'shor. Okay. Let's learn a little bit, Baba, the Kiddushin. 1 second.